welcome back to this channel. In this video we're talking about Spring validation. In the last video we discussed about creating a simple Spring application, and now we'll be validating the input of those applications. Now, what do you mean by validation? Validation is where we have a payload. I want to check if I want to ensure that the payload is according to the contract that we sign with that payload. That is when we're calling the API, we create endpoints. So we want to be certain that the fields are populated accordingly. So in this case, we want to validate the title and the body. So initially what we have there is that we have the create to do, and there is no validation here to check if any of this field is empty or not. So the first thing we need to do is to add the dependency in the pom.xml file. So we'll go to the pom.xml file, add a dependency, and the Spring Boot validation here. And so we have this, and we'll reload our Maven to download the dependency in the code. So now it is downloaded. Then we go to our TODO object. What we want to do now is to add not blank validation. So in this case, for starters, let us add to not blank for both. And what we need to do again is to go to our endpoint. There's the create endpoint. Okay, so it's here. Then we'll add. So adding these three steps, adding the dependency in the POM file would automatically download the necessary services we want in this product. Then in the object that I want to validate, we add this for starters. Then in the endpoint itself, add this annotation at valid. So can just start our application and see how it performs. So we are validating just the title and the description. The title and description. So if we start run this one, let's say there's nothing here, then we add this. So there's an error. See, so if we go to our code here, we see that we have a method argument not valid, a method argument not valid exception. So this is the exception that is thrown when either of these field is invalid. So it throws this exception so that it will tell you that something is wrong with the validation. So what we need to do is to give it the proper error handling. So for simplicity purpose, we would add a simple exception handler in the TODO API. So let's just start like this. It's gonna be a map. So let us call it probably undo method argument not valid exception. Let's call it that, method not valid, method argument not valid exception. And it's gonna take this exception input. Let's import the class. Let's call it ex. And what we need to do is to get all the exceptions that is thrown from that. So what we need to do is just ex.get bind the result. Then we're going to get all errors. Then go to stream all these errors. Let's call it error. Let's call it object error. Yeah, it's okay. What I like to do in this case is just to convert this to a field error first. So as a field error, It's error. I'm going to convert it to a field error, and from that I'll be able to extract the field name. So field name that get field name, get field. Yeah. We need to get the error message. Let's get it from the current default message here. Then it's going to return a map of strength. So what we need to do first is to create a map of string. Let's call this errors. Let's instantiate it to a new hash map. I'm gonna add this. Let's say errors. Let's put also the field name and the error message. Yeah, so we're gonna return this guy. Return errors. Okay, so to make this available to the context, we need to put some annotation. The first annotation is the exception handler, which is going to make this method an exception handler. For this handler, we need this guy. So let's add it there, and we need the response status. Let's want this method to throw a bad request exception. So let's call it the HTTP bad request. Let's put the status. Bad request. We have a bad request here. I'm just gonna type it. That bad request. Now that we have an error handler, it automatically detects this exception. It catches exception and gets the field, gets the error message, and throws it. So let's restart our application. Now, very simple. So it throws this exception. Title can now be blank, must not be blank. So to make this more customizable, we can add our error message here. We can say, for title, we can say message. Let's call it TODO title cannot be empty. So let's start application. So let's run it. So TODO title cannot be empty. So that's it, guys. Spring validation is as simple as that. We can go further to investigate more about Spring validation from the Spring documentation. It's very interesting. It makes your work very easy, and it portrays professionalism in your development. So let's investigate more on Spring validation. And in the next class, we'll be discussing about another interesting topic. So do subscribe to this channel and like this video. It's going to help me a lot in producing more videos like this. Thank you very much, and see you next time.